Everything you're about to hear is for entertainment purposes only. Listen, have some fun, but don't ever do, believe, or promote anything they say. They're idiots.
Guys, hold up. You should know, this ain't for everybody. Welcome to Savagely Loud. What's happening, people? Guys, welcome back to the show that understands the facts divided by feelings equals failure. I'm Cliff, I'm your host, and today I'm going to get into the whole idea of, well, when did we stop being we? Or really, were we ever truly we? But before we get into that, guys, if you want to help me out, you can follow me on Instagram at Savagely Loud. That is where I'm most active. On that page, you will find a link to my Savagely Loud podcast page, so you can follow me there as well, because that will inevitably be my backup page for when Savagely Loud goes down. I'm also going to start doing some more stuff with the Savagely Loud podcast page, podcast-related stuff. But if you want to see incendiary clips, definitely follow me at Savagely Loud. You can follow me on Facebook, X, and Rumble, and YouTube, all at Savagely Loud or Savagely Loud Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Please, please, please. I'm begging you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video, comment on it, whatever you got to do. Help me out, guys. If you want if you got any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email me in at savagelyloud@gmail.com. That's pretty straightforward. It's a fucking email address. You say whatever you want. You know, it's good. Please, guys, do me a solid. Do me a super, super duper solid. Don't forget to rate the shows. Don't forget to leave a review. Don't forget to do the star thing. Don't forget to follow on Spotify and iTunes. It really, really, really helps me out when you guys do just that extra couple of seconds for me. It really does a world of difference. So let me thank you in advance for, giving back to me for what I've given to you. Guys, let's just dive in. Normally now is where I give you the updates, and I've been so fucking busy for the last week. I don't even know what I did all week, but I know I got a lot of shit done, but that's where we're at. So every update that I gave you last week is probably still right in line for what I would say this week. So, excerpt, insert, that kind of shit. But let's talk about unity, because this is a very, very, very volatile topic, because there's so many different perspectives regarding it. There's so many different ways to look at it. There's so many different feels to feel about it. Like it's a really huge topic. And once we start breaking it down, you're going to start understanding how really, truly huge it is. And it's not even just what you think. Like, we can get into all the different aspects of it, things that you haven't even thought about that are killing unity. Yeah, we're going to get into that shit. So, to start out, let's just start with the big one. Right now in the world, in America, we are seeing the biggest rivalry between people, specifically black and white people. That seems to be the war that is being highlighted again as of modern day, is this disconnect we have between white people and black people. But everywhere we go on the internet, we hear some influencer talking about how we need unity. The problem with that is I would agree with you. We need unity. If we want anything positive to happen, we're going to need to unite. We're going to need to find some sort of unifying factor that we can really get behind, that's strong enough to put all the shit that we dislike about the other groups away for at least just a minute, so that we can go accomplish this mission. But everywhere we see these influencers talking about how we need all this unity. But the odd part is nobody's ever got a plan for how to get it done. In fact, I'll take it a step further. And not only do they not have a plan on how to get it done, and I don't give a fuck what you want to talk about. You want to talk about your favorite influencer, the biggest ones? Yeah, let's talk about them too, because they fit right into this boat. Not only do they not have a plan on how to achieve this unity that we need so greatly, they won't even address the stickiest parts of what will achieve that unity. They won't even address the nitty-gritty aspects of life in the real world as we live in it today. So that's what we're here to do. Let's get into the icky, sticky, fucking nasty-ass weeds of the topic of unity. So right out of the gate, when we're talking about white and black, we already know there's a huge division between us. We already know there's always been a huge division between us. before we even had fucking a true view into the race relations of white and black thousands of years ago. We knew we had a problem with each other, okay? But in modern times, it's very different, and we don't have just one problem with each other. That problem that we used to have thousands of years ago was you're from a different tribe. That's where it stopped. You're from a different tribe. That's where it stopped. That's where the problem stopped. You're the enemy because you're not part of my tribe. But now we live in an economy of forced unity. Like that's really what kind of drives a lot of the economy is forced unity and the division that happens because of it. So I'm 43. My whole life I've been being told that white people don't deserve to exist. I've been being told that I shouldn't be proud of my skin color, shouldn't be proud of my people's accomplishments, shouldn't be proud of anything having to do with any sort of whiteness. At the very same time, the same people that were telling me that we're telling the black kids that they should be extremely proud of their skin color. They should be extremely proud of the struggles that their accomplishments that their people have had. That all these things about, they're so brave just for wearing their skin color. So is this step one in achieving unity by spending decades teaching one people that they're shit while teaching another people that they're amazing? Is that step one in creating unity? It doesn't seem like that's a great plan to me. It doesn't seem like that's going to be a winning tactic, but that's what we're seeing, and we're continuing to see it today. But now the wheels are falling off of that, right? When I was a kid, back in the fucking late 80s and the 90s, it was before the internet. And even when we got the internet was nowhere near what it is today. So we were pre-internet people. We only operated based on what we could see with our own eyes. But now we live in this internet world where everything is bombarding us. Videos of everything we ever wanted to and didn't want to see are continuously bombarding us 24 hours a day. So now we've got what's happening is we've got this situation where generations of people that have been indoctrinated into believing falsehoods are getting angry. Generations of people that have been indoctrinated, programmed to either believe that they're shit and shouldn't exist, or that they're gods and nobody should be able to ever fuck with them. We're starting to see see them wake up and realize that they've been lied to their entire lives. And the difference is how we're handling it. White people typically we're starting to see stand up for our own, which is a fucking blessing for white culture, white people. We're starting to see more and more white people start calling out the bullshit. Why is it that I've spent my life being told that I'm a piece of shit because of my skin color and I shouldn't even pay attention to skin color, but everybody else that has a skin color that's darker than mine has spent their life being told that they're amazing because of that skin color? We're starting to see more and more white people step up and ask these questions, and that's causing a rift across the black community, especially because they're calling it racist. Anytime a white person stands up and asks anything about the sticky parts of the black culture or black community, we get called a fucking racist. That's how they combat that. That's how they shut us down from asking for accountability on the part of their community. Why are you conducting yourselves like this? They say, you're a fucking racist, and nobody wants that label, so we immediately fucking wash our hands of the subject and back off. But we're seeing less and less people wash their hands of the subject and back off, and more people push back. They're pushing back. They're saying, why does the black community conduct itself the way it does? Because it's not positive. It's not proper. It's not even remotely close to respectable. Why is it so much of the black community ruins every fucking where they go? You go to the mall, riots. You go to the fucking Carnival Cruise Lines, you take over the ship and turn it into a shithole. You move into neighborhoods, and then all of a sudden they're gang territory, and we've got 30, 40 fucking people walking the streets at night with fucking automatic weapons. Why is this happening? And why are the good black people, because they do exist, Why are the good black people allowing this to happen? Why aren't you guys standing up for this? And the more we ask these questions, the more the black community fights back, the more the black community pushes back on us. Now, let's flip the tables here, because I'm all about reality, and reality does not say that white people are fucking perfect. If you come up with a fucking list of shit you don't like about the black community, I can promise you the black community, any member of it, will come up with a list of shit they don't like about the white community. I get that. The white community does some fucked up shit too. Like, well, all sorts of shit, really. White collar crimes. If you want to get paid like shit and do a lot of fucking work, you're probably going to want to work for a white guy. You know, like that's just the way it works. So, but the point is that both of our groups, both of our peoples, both of our tribes are dead set in our ways. We are both individually, respectively, looking in on the other tribe as if it is less than. How do we stop that from happening? We can't do it as people. We have proven as people, as a society at large, that we always need a leader. We always need some sort of mediating factor to help us solve any situation. Now, that being said, we can't just have the conversation. We can't just have this, because once we have the conversation, let's say we have these conversations one-on-one, white and black, right? And we start coming to some compromises. We start coming to some understandings. We start getting things worked out. This is where naturally people are going to go start doing some research. They're going to start looking into some things on how to help the other, how to help the relationship, how to help themselves. They're going to start looking at some things. And that's where the wheels are going to fall back off of this. Remember, we just started getting the wheels on the bus. We just started getting to a point in the situation where we could kind of come together. You know, we could kind of see eye to eye on some shit. But once we hit the internet, we see the programming take over. And the programming, I want to really touch on this really quickly. The programming at large is what most people get mad at, and I don't think you guys understand that this is really what you're mad at. I was a former skinhead. I know what it's like to wake up every day with a seething fucking hatred for multiple groups of people, want nothing for my day than to have millions and millions of people be wiped off the fucking planet. So I can tell you that I'm not a racist anymore, because that's a baggage I just don't carry. And there's a lot of weight in that baggage. So you notice that you're carrying it. But when you start looking in and you start looking in on the other group and you start doing some research, you start seeing what we've been programmed to believe. And that's really what pisses a lot of people off. Is it's not so much the other culture, it's the programming. And it's because as adults, we've been programmed our entire lives, like computers, like fucking anything, like like apps. We're just government apps to make tax money for them, right? But we've taken this programming in, and now when we get into these conversations about unity, especially, and unification between peoples, our programming and what we see meet head to head. It's like the clash of the fucking titans, as Sam Tripoli called it, I believe. I think it was him that said that. But it's like the clash of the titans when your programming goes against what you see with your eyes. And what we see with our eyes is a very, very heavy bias towards the black community, okay? So I went on Google and I just typed into the search engine. I didn't use proper grammar, no punctuation. I said, how many black organizations in America? Now, when I typed that in and I hit enter, I got a list, okay? I got fucking pages and pages and pages. And let me just read through the first quick page of search results, right? When I searched up how many black organizations in America, I got top black organizations, African-American organizations to know, the category of African-American organizations by Wikipedia. I got 22 black-led nonprofit organizations making history, 28 organizations that empower black communities, 40 black organizations changing the world. And the list like this goes on and on and on. But when I typed this in, I did come to this other page, and it's blacknews.com, And the page that I'm looking at is blacknews.com/directory/black African American organizations.shtml. Shitmail. I don't know what the fuck that is. But this is the page I'm looking at if you want to look it up. This lists the top black organizations based on whatever criteria they deemed them to be the top. And some of them you will know, some of them you won't. Let's start out. The 100 Black Men of America. I'm just gonna read through the list of the top ones. We're gonna get through it really fucking fast, and then we're gonna move on, okay? But I want you to hear some of these names so that if they pop up in your daily life, you start drawing correlations to how bad you're getting fucked here. 100 Black Men of America, African American Planning Commission, African American Speaker Bureau, Be Someone Incorporated, Black Culinarians Alliance, Blacks in Government, Black Wall Street USA, Black Women in Sisterhood for Action, Jack and Jill of America, Miss Black USA, National Action Council for Minorities in Engineering, the National Action Network, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, that's the NAACP, National Association of Black Hotel Owners, Operators, and Developers, National Association of Black Accountants, National Association of Black Storytellers, National Association of Blacks in Criminal Justice, National Association of Market Developers, National Black Child Development Institute, National Registry of Black Baby Names, National Society of Black Engineers, National Urban League, and the Rainbow Push Coalition. These are listed as the top black organizations according to blacknews.com. Now, if we just scroll down a little bit under all of these, there's a couple of pieces of information I want to get into and I want to break down. So it says, what is a black organization? A black organization is an institution or foundation that has the sole purpose of enhancing the lives of African American citizens. These organizations are generally supported by corporate and individual donations, but some are also supported by federal and local government grants. So now let's break this down because that is a problem. If we're talking about unifying white people and black people, white people see this as a problem. And let me break down why. We're seeing our tax dollars get spent by the government to get on the black community. And we've been seeing it for decades, and we've seen a regression in progression in the black community. We're actually seeing the black community go backwards the more money we put into it, but we got to keep putting this money into it. The government keeps putting money into the black community while they're not putting any money into the white community. That's a huge fucking problem. The fact that you have black organizations is a huge problem because we're not allowed to have our organizations. In fact, I got some information for you coming up here pretty soon that'll show you the difference in how the government views the idea of black organizations and white organizations. Now, moving on. The next question, it says, why the need for black organizations? Again, you can read this at blacknews.com. Why the need for black organizations? Black organizations are needed because the African American community is often ignored by mainstream ones. In addition, black organizations can serve specific needs that only pertain to African American families. Well, this is a problem because for my whole life, almost 5 decades now, almost 50 years, I've been being told we're all the same. If we're all the same, why do you get your own set of problems? How do you have these problems that only affect you if we're all the same? You know what I mean? We're putting money into all these problems that only affect you. Well, my thinking is if you have problems as a black community that only affect you, then I, as part of the white community, simply must, by the law of balance, have problems that only affect our community, but we're not getting any of this money. We're not getting any of this attention or any of these organizations to help us out. But so this is, again, it's a problem. You keep telling me that we're the same, but then you do this and it comes out we're not the same, right? Well, move on. How many black organizations exist and how can they help? Hundreds of black organizations exist nationwide with local chapters in many urban cities. which is kind of funny. I've never seen a rural city. Like there's never a farm field in the middle of a fucking city population of like 14. But anyway, it kind of defeats the idea of a city. But the organizations can help with healthcare, daycare, entrepreneurship, minority business grants, minority business loans, scholarships, internships, equal opportunity, civil rights, and more. Now, let's break this one down because, again, the black community is getting a lot of benefits from the white community that the white community doesn't get solely for itself from anybody else, even its own government, right? So we've got these organizations help with healthcare, daycare, entrepreneurship, healthcare. Why is it that black people can't get healthcare? Why do you need so much help getting healthcare? You have the same availability to healthcare that anybody does, whether you're white or brown or yellow or green or purple. Doesn't matter where you're from. You've got the same access to healthcare, unless your community has become such a fucking dangerous hellhole that you ran the hospital out of the town, which has happened in many towns in this nation. Let's look at daycare. Daycare's fucking expensive. Daycare's fucking expensive. When I put my kids in daycare for 2 kids, 10 years ago, a little bit better than 10 years ago. 15 years ago. Oh man, I'm getting old. But anyway, when I had my kids in daycare back then, in the early 2000s, it was almost $1,000 a week. How come I was making $550 a week, and I had rent, had a car payment. Like it was a shithole car. Like I wasn't living outside my means. I had a dinky little house. But I had to fucking pay for it, right? How come I wasn't getting any fucking handouts? How come I wasn't getting any organizations calling me saying, hey, you need any help with your daycare? We did the math. It actually costed my family $10 a week for my wife to go to work. She had to quit her job because it was costing us money for her to work, because that's the way the system's rigged. But we didn't get any help. But here's the fucking kicker, though. And I'm going to guess that a lot of people are on board with this mental thought that I'm on right now. Black people don't even send their kids to daycare. So what kind of daycare are you helping with? You're just sending them more money so they can stay at home and watch their kids. Like most of the daycares that my friends go to now, because my kids are way out of daycare, but most of the daycares my friends go to now, they say there's barely any fucking black kids in there. Lots of Indians, but barely any fucking black kids. Lots of Mexicans, barely any black kids. So why are they getting all this assistance for that? Entrepreneurship, how many fucking black businesses owned in this country? Not very many. Not in relation to everybody else. Not in relation to Indians, not in relation to Mexicans, not in relation to white people. It's extremely low. And it's not because they can't get a business started. It's not because they have black skin. It's because they just don't do it. Like the black community has better things to invest their time in than business ownership. That's an actual quote from a black friend of mine. So, but they're getting all this they're getting all this assistance to do this. Scholarships, internships. It doesn't make any sense, especially when it comes to this, where, like I said, internships, equal opportunity. Am I living in an alternate dimension, or do I not see how the fucking how this coincides with each other? You're giving special treatment to one particular group of people so they can achieve equal opportunity. Does that not cancel each other out? You're giving them special treatment to achieve equality. Yeah, that's not going to sit well with a lot of people. That's just not going to fucking flow well. It doesn't flow well for me. So you're going to take my money and give it to a group of people that refuse to do a bunch of shit, refuse to change their behavior, refuse to be a valued member of this society, which is fully within their capabilities of being. You're going to take my money and give it to them and then tell me it's to create equal opportunity while I fucking work my goddamn fingers to the bone, break my fucking back, and grind my dick into the dirt every single fucking day to support a bunch of fucking welfare-holics that do nothing and get a bunch of assistance for healthcare and daycare and all this other shit that they don't even fucking do. Like, you're not going to be able, my point here is you're not going to be able to achieve unity with this kind of shit happening. You're not going to be able to achieve unity by giving one group special treatment. It's just not going to happen. In fact, let's get on to the special treatment issue. So I read you, remember just a couple minutes ago when I read you the search results from how many black organizations in America. Well, I did the exact same thing. I just erased black and put white in. And let me read you the search results from that, okay? Remember when we searched for blacks, it was all black business and black greatness and all this other shit. How many white organizations in America? List of white nationalist organizations, the 28 biggest hate groups in America. White nationalists, Southern Poverty Law Center. But how many white supremacists are there really? See on blah, 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 therap.com. White supremacy groups in the United States, the state of white supremacy and neo-Nazi groups in the U.S. The facts on white nationalism. Do you see how this curated fucking search results could possibly piss off an entire demographic of fucking people? Do you maybe just a little bit get a taste of how bitter that is for white people to look up black organizations in America and get a list of all this great shit that black people are doing? And then we want to get a list of all the great shit that fucking, or we want to get a list of what can help us out. How many fucking organizations can help us out? And all we get is a list of why we hate everybody. Don't you see how that might fuck people's minds up just a little bit, just enough to make them say fuck you to everybody else? That's what we're dealing with here. So again, I don't know how these people plan to achieve unity when one people is being told that they're a piece of shit and one people's being told that they're gods. And the behavior that is objectively fucking different across the board is polar opposite. The people that are being told that they're gods are some of the worst things that's ever happened to wherever the fuck they are. And the people that are being told that they're fucking piles of shit just get up in the morning, go to work, pay their taxes, and support their family, creating no issues. Like it's unreal. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. It's unreal to think that we could achieve unity based on all of this, based on these biases that are fucking put to us over and over and over again. But now let's expand on this, because the white hate is really deep here. The 28, that one I read, 28 biggest hate groups in America, just what I see on the search result, it comes up with 4 of them, right? It says Moms for Liberty, Proud Boys, U.S. Parents Involved in Education, and Patriot Front. So just for shits, I was like, I don't really look into these fucking groups, so let's go see what makes them so full of hate, Let's see here. Well, here's the Moms for Liberty website. And I'm not seeing anything racist. Nope, I'm scrolling down. I'm seeing some pictures here now of what there's a white lady in part of the Liberty shop, whatever, wearing a shirt. There seems to be what appears to be maybe a Mexican man wearing an American shirt. Then down under that, it looks like a couple of lesbians working with each other in a picket line. Another couple of lesbians working with a picket line. A white and a black man holding hands or fucking got their arms around each other. I see a group of what looks to be one fat mom, one normal mom, and one maybe Mexican mom. Yeah, it doesn't look fucking super racist to me, but they're on the list of hate groups. The Proud Boys, I'll tell you this kind of, I mean, like, as a former skinhead dude, I'll give them that. I mean, the Proud Boys website looks kind of racist. It does look kind of like a neo-Nazi fucking skinhead fucking page from way back in the day, from the 90s. However, the founder is black. So it kind of shoots a hole in that. We go to United U.S. Parents Involved in Education. Now, I can totally see the fucking racism right out of the gate here, because the very first thing you see on their homepage is a extremely happy tight-knit white family, all smiling and having a good time with each other. So I can see where the racism is coming from that. There seems to be a podcast hosted by a woman that, I'll be honest with you, she doesn't look like anybody I'd want to listen to. I'll be honest with you. And these people probably fit right into my wheelhouse as far as they look at shit. So United States parents in education. Yep, white family. They didn't put a black and a Mexican in there, so yeah, they're racist, obvious. Patriot Front. Okay, so I don't know. I will reiterate this fact. I don't know a lot about these fucking groups. I hear about them groups. I hear about these people. I hear they do some good shit. Patriot Front, all of them, Proud Boys, everybody. Here's what I will say is the Patriot Front does in fact look like a hyper militant organization. Mostly the reason I say that is because every one of these fucking cowards has their faces blurred out. And I was a skinhead. We didn't agree with this. This is why we hated the fucking KKK, because the KKK is a bunch of fucking cowards, a bunch of spineless fucking cowards. Because you're proud enough to say that your fucking skin is my race is my religion and my skin is my uniform, but you won't show it to anybody. You're proud enough to say this is my fucking people, but you don't want nobody to see your face. I'm sorry, fucking Patriot Front. I'm not digging your website. I'm not digging all the masks. I'm not digging the blurring. I'm not digging all of that shit. If you wanted to if you told me and I didn't know nothing about this and you said, hey, there's a new skinhead organization, a new white militant organization in America, check them out, and you sent me to this website, as a former skinhead, I would say you are 100% right. That is a new white power organization, and it may be. I don't know anything about it. But I will say that I'm not going to probably know any about it because I see a lot of fucking masks and that's disgusting. I see a lot of fucking cowards and that's it. If you're so fucking proud of your people, fucking uncover your face. That's all I got to say about that shit. So fuck these guys. Now, there are so many different facets moving on from the white and the black that are disallowing us to achieve this unity. There's gender, there's sexuality, there's politics, there's religion, there's professions, there's what kind of car you like, what kind of lunch snacks you like. Like every single thing nowadays becomes some sort of group that people have to be a part of. And you have to understand that the reason people operate the way they do is because people are far more afraid to be left out of something than they are of being disliked. I'll say that one more time. People are far more afraid of being left out of something than they are of being disliked. That means they're way more afraid of being left out of their group than they are of you not liking them. I'm terrified. If I'm a normal person, I'm fucking terrified that I'm not going to be part of the group. No, I don't care if you don't like me. That doesn't bother me. I'm terrified if I'm going to not be part of the group. So we see everybody creating groups to be a part of because so many people belong to no groups, right? This actually is here's a really good example for you. This is why I don't do clubs anymore, because I've been in clubs. I've been in car clubs. I've been in MCs. I don't do fucking clubs anymore. I don't do organizations because you've always got to fucking check all the right boxes. You're never just good enough to be in the group because you broad spectrum believe this. Nope. It's always you got to this. Like car clubs. Oh, you can't have a serpentine belt because we're a fucking traditional car club. Can't have a serpentine belt. You can't have any billet aluminum. You can't have any chrome. You can't have any black satin. No, we're a rat rod club. That's too nice. Oh nope, that's not nice enough. We're a custom club. There's so many different fucking boxes you got to check just to remain part of the club that I don't want anything to fucking do with clubs. I don't want anything to do with fucking organizations. I don't want anything to do with none of these groups. No, thank you. Because I know inevitably we are going to get down that checklist to a point where I can't check that box and then I'm out of the fucking group. The Democrats do it all the fucking time. They're the best ones at turncoating on their own people. As soon as you disagree with one thing, the 970 fucking things that you agreed with before it mean nothing. You're out of the fucking group. Well, now we're seeing that behavior in every group. Now you're not in a fucking group. You've got to be the exact right color, the exact right religion, the exact right politics, the exact right ideals, the exact right fucking outlook. Like, you've got to be the exact right everything, every box checked. All 600 boxes got to be checked in the exact right fashion, or you're out of the fucking club. You're out of the fucking group. I mean, dude, how many times do you read things like even sports teams? Even sports teams. New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox, those fans are voted number one to end in bloodshed during an altercation, during an argument. Under them, right under them, is White Sox fans and Cubs fans are second most likely to end in bloodshed. Guys, these are fucking sports teams. And we're drawing blood over sports teams. Like, this is how fucking stupid this shit is. This is how ridiculous of a people we've become. And I think it's because we've just stopped accomplishing shit. Like, on a broad scale, most people, we just will never accomplish what we know we're capable of accomplishing. And we hide our disgust in that. We hide our resentment and our regret in getting overly involved in somebody else's shit, like sports teams or cars. I've built cars most of my fucking life. I could tell you thousands of stories of guys getting in fistfights because fuck Ford, because fuck Chevy, because fuck Dodge, because fuck AMC, because Rambler is the best. No, it's because the Javelin is the best. No, it's because Pontiac's the best. I could tell you thousands of fucking stories of people getting in fistfights because they like a car and the other person doesn't. This is transcendent. This behavior, this mentality, this perspective has transcended into every demographic of our lives now. If you check the box for being white, good. If you check the box for being Christian, good. If you check the box for being Republican, good. If you check the box for being straight, good. But you better check that box for not wanting gay marriage too. Because if you don't check that box, if you don't mind gay marriage, you're out of the fucking club. Everything is this. And you know why it is? It's because at the very same time that we are all acknowledging, understanding, and admitting out loud that people need to be part of something, we're also being told that we're also being told that we should be hyper individualist, right? Everybody's being told to be hyper individualized. You are you, you're the greatest, you're the perfectest, you're the beautifulest, you cook the best, you fuck the best, you give the best hand jobs, the best everythings, because you're you and nobody can be you. Bitch, you ain't special. I ain't fucking special. We're all fucking people. We're all the fucking same. Some of us are going to win on this end. Some of them are going to win on that end. Some of us are going to lose on this end. Some of them are going to lose on that end. You're not fucking special. But the problem is now we've got billions of people out here walking around like they're fucking special. Walking around because they've been told to believe that they're kings, queens, and gods. How the fuck do you expect to achieve unity when you've got a group, you've got everybody out here thinking that they've been through the most? They do the most work. They work the hardest. They have the best perspectives. They have the best thoughts on things. How do you fucking expect to achieve unity when you're training everybody that they're better than everybody? It's part of the system, guys. And do I have an answer for how to unfuck the system? I do. But it's going to be a not pretty one, and it's going to take a fucking long time, and it's going to be a fucking endeavor that, as especially men in this country, in America, have proven for the last 50 years, we're not willing to do. So I guess in reality, I don't have an explanation, or I don't have a plan. But I mean, when we live in a society that is just so divided all the way down to what kind of car you like, what kind of coffee you drink. Oh my God, you put cream in your coffee. Like, I even get it too, dude. I'll tell my wife, I'm like, dude, that fucking, I drink coffee black most of the time, right? Well, she drinks it with cream and sugar, and I'm like, dude, oh man, that's hot milkshake. And there's this little piece of me that I can feel like actually feeling something about her cup of coffee, right? And that's me. That's fucking, it's an odd thing to be able to look in on yourself and understand what you're feeling why you're feeling it, know that you're feeling it, but know also that this is fucking stupid. And if we could all as a people get to that point where it's like, yeah, I'm feeling this, but it's fucking stupid, I think the world would change very drastically rather quickly. But when it comes down to uniting people, I'm interested in hearing from you guys. I'm interested to see what your guys' take on this, because I feel like I'm getting to the point now where I feel like we can't do it. I'm feeling like we can't do it. I'm feeling like if we get the white and black figured out, then it's going to be the white and black against the Mexican, because the Mexicans feel left out. Once we get that situated, then it's going to be the Asians. Once we get that situated, it's going to be the Middle Easterners. Then once we get that situated, it's going to be the Irish. It's just going to this ongoing cycle of racial tension and inclusion. And once we get all that settled, all right, let's just pipe dream this out. Once we get all that settled, now we've got white people and black people and Asians and Mexicans and Irish and everybody and Middle Easterners, everybody getting together, getting along until one of them Middle Easterners fucks a kid. He's going to be out of the club in a drastic fashion, let me tell you, with malice, great amounts of it. So now we're back at square one, because once, you know, most of the cultures on Earth don't agree with fucking little kids. Middle Easterners are one of the few that love doing that, but most of the cultures on Earth don't agree with fucking little kids. Well, that's going to put Middle Easterners out right on the fucking porch, and it's going to piss them all off. So now we're going to be back at odds, because now it's not going to be, you don't like me because I'm brown. It's going to be, you don't like me because I practice my culture in your view. Okay, so now we got the color thing down, but now we got to deal with the culture thing. Now we've got to deal with all these differences in culture that I can't get behind. I absolutely refuse to, 100% refuse to even hear any arguments defending pedophiles, defending pedophilia, defending marrying 6-year-olds and consummating marriages at 9 and 13. I absolutely refuse to hear any arguments. And because of that refusal to hear arguments, we are never going to see eye to eye, and we are never going to unite. And those things, those aspects of culture that other people disagree with, exist in every culture. Literally every single culture has something about it that other cultures absolutely fucking disagree with, to the point where they cannot unite with it. So again, back at square one. We had the color thing figured out. Nope. Back at square one, because now we got the ideology thing squared out. Now we got to get the ideology thing squared away. And the only way we can get the ideology thing squared away is to have people stop doing what other people don't like. And when we get into that fucking cyclical nightmare train of nightmares, it's never ending. Because people are always going to find something they don't like. That's American society right now. That's especially fucking British society. The British have made a fucking habit of just banning everything one person said they didn't like. And now Britain's UK's a fucking prison. I mean, every fucking spot in Britain, in the UK, is a fucking prison. Whether you're behind a wall or not, you're in prison. Because we had to ban everything that somebody didn't like, instead of just making people talk out their fucking problems. And if you can come to a situation where you agree with each other, great. If you come to a situation where you can have a civil conversation with each other, disagree, walk away your own direction, and not turn around and shoot the other motherfucker in the back, great. Absolutely great. Because I think that's really what we should be looking into. Instead of talking about all this unity that's never going to happen, let's just cut the mustard, okay? Unity is never going to happen, because like I said, as soon as you get one aspect figured out, another aspect is going to go awry, and then it's all going to hit the fucking floor again. So unity is fucking impossible, right? So why don't we explore separatism? Why don't we explore segregation? Why don't we explore what seems to be the thing that everybody is calling for now? White people all want to live away from black people. Black people all want to live away from white people. Mexicans all want to live in wherever the fuck they want to live with nobody around them. We all want to practice getting the fuck away from the people we don't agree with, we don't get along with, we don't coincide with, we don't align with. We all want to do this. So why is it a problem when we do it? Well, that comes back to the color thing. It's not a problem when you make places like Freedom, Georgia, and you have a black-only encampment, a black-only town. But if you have a white-only anything, that's fucking racism, and you need to be put to death. Again, bam, square one again. So if you think that there is any fucking single way in this fucking lifetime or any other, in this universe or any other, this galaxy or any other, that we can actually achieve unity, I think you're out of your fucking mind. Would I like it? Now, don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't want unity. It's not that I don't want to wake up tomorrow and have every single fucking red-blooded American fucking citizen band together and go take our fucking country back. I want that. Every bit of me wants that. But not a fucking single part of me believes that that's ever going to happen. Because again, once you get one aspect figured out, you move on to another aspect because people can't be fucking happy. People cannot be fucking happy, which is why we see victim culture fucking doing so fucking well in this culture. It's ending, thankfully. Thank God it's ending. But that's why we've seen victim culture do so well in the last 10 to 20 fucking years, is because people just can't be happy. Now, while we're talking about this unity thing, let's talk about who's really pushing the message of unity, right? Let's talk about the elites because it's the people at the top of the food chain that are telling us that we're supposed to get along while they are all isolating themselves from any sort of life that they're providing us, telling us we have to get along inside of it. They're isolating themselves because they know we're not meant to get along. We're meant to be neighbors. We're meant to go, hey, how you doing as we walk by. We're not meant to go to dinner with each other. We're not meant to get in real deep conversations about culture and society and behavior, because every time we do, it goes wrong. It never happens well. It never goes positively. It's all fighting and all bullshit. Well, we can't just stop as people to say, hey, maybe it's not white against black. Maybe it's not black against Asian. Maybe it's not Christian against Muslim. Maybe it's not fucking gay against straight. Maybe it's not trans against the world. Maybe it's the elites versus everybody that they want to control. How do you fix that? Well, the short answer is you can't. The short answer is the only way you can fix that is to wipe them all off the face of the earth. And that means you've got enough money to do that, which you don't and never will. And killing people's wrong, so we wouldn't do that anyway. But that's the only way, because once you really start understanding that the elites aren't out for our best interest, they're out for their best interest, which fly directly in the face of our best interests. You start thinking about some things differently. You start thinking about, this whole depopulation program that Bill Gates is hepped up on. When you start thinking about the broad depopulation of the world on the behalf of the ultra wealthy, have you noticed he hasn't said anything about, well, we've got to decrease the amount of black people. Well, we got to decrease the amount of white people. Well, if we can get rid of some of them Asians. No. It's broad scale depopulation. It doesn't matter what fucking color you are. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. It doesn't matter how many fucking kids you have. It doesn't matter if you're married or you're single. It doesn't matter if you party or stay home. He wants you out. He wants you fucking gone. He wants you fucking dead. He wants to kill the population off by about 85%. And he's being indiscriminate when it comes to color while we're arguing about color. And I get it. I argue a lot about color. I argue a lot about race. I argue a lot about culture. I argue a lot about diversity. But while we're all doing this, while we're all taking part of this, rightfully so on many levels, while we're all doing this, they are erasing both of us. They are erasing our people, not my people, not your people. They're erasing our people respectively, because they don't look at us like we look at us. They don't look at you like I look at you. They don't look at you like fucking anybody else would look at you. And they don't look at me the same way as anybody else does. They look at us as liabilities to be managed. Every single person that is not ultra wealthy and in the know, in the mix, is attending these big meetings. Every single person is not a person to these people. Every single person is a liability to be managed. If they can cut their liabilities, they increase their profit. And that's what they're fucking concerned with. Profit and control. So that's where the system plays really well, is it gets you coming at me, it gets me coming at you, and it gets us doing that on 1,000 different levels so that no matter what, nothing ever gets fixed. No matter what we fix, no matter what we solve, no matter what we come up to a solution for, there's going to be another fucking problem we got to get fixed. There's going to be another fucking problem that is a thorn in my side, a thorn in your side. There's going to be another fucking thing that is going to be a hiccup in our relations. And it's by the fucking plan. Now, that's not to alleviate all responsibility. That's not to alleviate responsibility from all of us individuals from being the best that we can be, because we all should be. The best we can be is not gangbanging. The best we can be is not slinging drugs on the fucking street corner. The best we can be is not fucking trying to promote a life of hate and violence and killing and murder and rape and pedophilia and all this other shit. That's not the way to do it. The way we can be the best we can be is maybe we just don't pay attention to the other people. Maybe we pay attention to what we do on a daily basis. That means every single white guy gets up and concentrates on not being a meth head, not being a kid fucker, not being a fucking lazy bum, not doing this, not doing that, and doing the things he knows he's supposed to do. Doing the things she knows she's supposed to do. Going to work, supporting your family, this kind of shit. Living within your means, not costing the taxpayers money because you believe you're entitled to something. And the same goes for the black community. Every black person woke up tomorrow and decided that they weren't going to get in a fight at the laundromat. If every black person they woke up tomorrow and decided they weren't going to burglarize their neighbor's house or car. If every black person decided they were going to get up and not be gangbangers, not go walking around the fucking streets of their fucking shitty neighborhood at 2 o'clock in the morning holding automatic weapons. If everybody decided not to do that, the world would fucking change. But we've got to decide for ourselves to not be these things. I call out problems in every fucking community, every fucking culture, every single fucking day. That's what I do. Because if you bring the problems to light, it forces people to acknowledge them. Because I incite conversations. I facilitate. I'm a facilitator, if you will. Yeah, I'm a facilitator. I facilitate conversations. I get people talking. And when people start talking, it forces accountability, because inevitably I will say one thing that is against your culture. You will say something that is against my culture. And then we will get into a conversation on why both of those things need to be rectified. And then we go on to how we do it. This is what we do. This is how we fix the shit. We call it out. And you know what? I'm sorry to the black community. You haven't been listening. That's why the white community is getting so fucking loud. That's why the white community appears to be so racist, because we're done listening to the indoctrination, the propaganda, the rhetoric, and the bullshit about us being scumbags and you being awesome when the statistics prove otherwise. If you want the white community to shut the fuck up and not be so racist, then you need to start giving us reasons to shut the fuck up and not be so racist. You need to give us reasons to shut the fuck up and not ask questions that you call racist, even though they're not. In fact, if you want to do one better, if you really wanted to solve racism against your community, black people, you would start having the conversation. When you see some fucking white dude like me spouting off on the internet about your culture, about your community, you would be having a real, actual, intelligent conversation with us. You would say that you would come in the DMs saying things like, you know, I saw this and I feel like we're disconnected here. And I kind of like to get a little bit more input from you, blah, 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 blah. Approach it that way. Let me tell you how not to approach it, because this is how the black community always approaches my content. Mostly, not obviously, it's not all ants, but you know, it's just the radical ones. But I always, every time I get a reply from a story or a video in the DMs, it's like, come to the fucking hood and say that shit. Come to my fucking neighborhood and say that fucking shit to my face. I'll fuck you up. I'll fuck you up, dog. I'll fuck you up, nigga. That doesn't solve anything. That doesn't breed unity. It doesn't breed respect. It doesn't, you know, and likewise, if you were to say something about the white community, that was unsavory. Hey, it's hard to fucking walk around this neighborhood without tripping and landing on a white guy that's got his dick and a little kid. The best way for me to converse about that is to not say, oh yeah, well, fucking black people fuck kids too. The best way for me to fucking have a conversation about that is not to be like, oh yeah, well, he's not fucking your kid, so who does it fucking matter? Mind your own business. Come to my fucking house and say that shit. That's not the best way. The best way is like, fuck yeah, dude, he shouldn't be doing that shit. Oh, just by saying that one little thing, I put myself on your level. I let you know I agree with you at least on something. So there's our fucking common ground. That's where we start. Hey, you don't fuck little kids? I don't fuck little kids. Let's have a conversation about other things we don't do and why we don't do them. Then we can get into a conversation of what we do as people and why we do that, you know? It all comes back down to accountability. If we are going to ever achieve a complete unity, which we won't, it's impossible. Like I said, if we get along as races, we won't get along because of our religions. If we get along because of our religions, we won't get along because of our sexualities. If we get along because of our sexualities, we won't get along because of our professions. There's always some reason we're not going to get along. But if we are ever to even think about, entertain the idea of true unity, we're going to have to start calling for accountability and then delivering accountability on behalf of our own peoples. Whether that is white and black, Mexican, Asian, whether that's gay, straight, lesbian, trans, whether that's fucking mechanics or bodymen or painters or plumbers or electricians or garbage men, whether that has anything, whether it's anything, we're going to have to start answering for ourselves and being okay that other people ask the questions. Now, if you want to help me out, I want to get to our Hopelessly Human every single fucking episode. We get way down in the fucking weeds about shit, and we don't want to leave that way. We want to leave on a happy note. We want to leave knowing that somebody out there is still human, still full of love. But before we do that, guys, if you want to help me out, please follow me on Instagram, Savagely Loud. That's where I'm most active. On that page, you will find a link to Savagely Loud podcast page. You can follow that. You will find a link tree to all my other pages. You can also follow me on Facebook, X, Rumble, and YouTube. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, do all that great shit. Please don't forget to rate the shows on Spotify and iTunes. It really does help me when you rate them, when you give a review, when you follow. It really does help us help out this whole fucking method of getting these messages out. You know, we need to talk about this shit. You can email me in at savagelyloud@gmail.com. And without any further ado, let's get to our Hopelessly Human segment that starts a little bit like...
People can be really rough. They can be quite tough. They can get in the way, but at the end of the day, some aren't only stupid, some are hopelessly human.
Alrighty, we got some Hopelessly Human segment going on here that I have completely fucking mangled. I don't know what in the hell is happening to my thing. Oh, here we go. All right, this story is entitled, "Please Make Something of Your Life." It reads, "I'm really late to this, so this will probably get ignored, but whatever, I can answer this. When I was 16, it was just me and my dad. My mom had passed away a few years before, so my dad was raising a teenage daughter alone while trying to run a business that his heart wasn't in. One night, my dad tells me that he needs to go meet a friend and that he'd be home late. This was fairly normal, so I didn't really think much of it. Off he went. That night, I was woken at 4 a.m. to 2 police officers at the door. They sit me down and tell me that my dad's car had been found parked beside a bridge and a male body was on the road below the bridge. They told me that my dad had ended his life. He left a note that was solely addressed to me that essentially vaguely said he got involved into something dodgy and the other people that had threatened to hurt me to get back at him. The only way he felt he could protect me was to take himself out of the picture. This was 8 years ago now, and I have still no idea what he was involved in or what went down." The last line, the note really stuck me. Yeah, there's some fucked up grammar here. The last line in the note really stuck with me. It said, "Please make something of your life. I haven't. I've done my absolute best since that day, and I've managed to graduate university and get myself a good job with well above average pay for my age. I've met an amazing guy, and I am truly happy. I obviously miss my dad every day, but he did push me to become who I am now, and I really owe him for that. Guys, that dude, that dad, this is a really fucked up situation. And I know it's weird, hopefully see him in segment when it involves suicide, but that dude is incredibly powerful. And that dude, that father, made the ultimate sacrifice to save the person he loved the most, his daughter. He knew that something in his life, some choice that he had made was going to lead others, somebody else, other people, his daughter and maybe others, down a road of pain and sorrow and possibly death. So he sacrificed himself to save somebody else from the inevitable torture chamber. And I think that is fucking hopelessly human as fuck. That is also the end of the show. I'm out.